What's going on, family? It's Eleanor, your favorite dismissive avoidant, back with another triggering video. Like, share, and subscribe for more dismissive avoidant POV content. Getting right into today's topic and deep diving on how and why I can love you and still leave you as someone with a dismissive avoidant attachment style. And quite simply, love on its own does not override or outweigh fear. My love for you does not erase my need for space, my need for time alone, my need to reset and take some time away for you just to do things for me. That is a personal need of mine that is not going to change, right? I equate dependency, whether it's me being dependent on you or you being dependent on me, as dangerous, even if I love you. Intimacy for me can be very unpredictable. Solitude, being alone, is consistent and it's safe. So even when I have these deep feelings, even when I like you a lot, I'm still more comfortable by myself. There's just less conflict. I don't have to explain myself. It's just very simple. Loving you and being able to stay with you are two very separate things. My love for you are the feelings that I have, wanting to show up for you a certain way, and I show it through my actions. Then there's the capacity to actually maintain the relationship. So capacity is a skill set. Capacity is a skill set. If I don't have the skill set, it doesn't matter if I have all these feelings for you. I don't have the tools to make it work, to continue the maintenance on it. Right? Once there's wear and tear. My fear of being trapped activates no matter how genuine my affection is if I'm triggered. Period. Point blank. Love just doesn't fix things just because it feels good. Engulfment can override affection. Love and being in a relationship feels good until it feels like an obligation, until it feels like a job, until it feels like a burden. I can start to panic about losing my autonomy and feeling very much trapped, feeling like I'm being controlled, feeling like I'm being treated like a little kid because I have to answer to another person or somebody feels like I have to answer to them. You know, those are the things that make me distance myself or take a pause and go, is this really for me? Am I feeling like this is something that I can really do? And here's the thing, when I take space, whether that's a withdrawal or whether that's a breakup and finally ending something, I feel calmer once there's distance. Once I return to solitude, once the distance rolls in, I feel calm, I feel relieved. And that to me is a sign. It can tell me something like, okay, yeah, I definitely needed to take this space, or man, I feel really good right here. Maybe right now is not the best time for me to try to pursue this relationship or a relationship in general. So maybe this is the time where I need to take this little pause, take a few days and sit and think about this away from you, away from this person, and figure out what I'm going to do. Am I going to stay? Am I going to leave? Weigh out the pros and cons, and I try to look at consider the other person, think, if I'm struggling to meet their needs, do I really need to stay in this relationship, or should I just end it, go no contact, and just move forward and let this other person move forward? Leaving feels like survival, and then it also feels like the logical thing to do. Once I've taken that space and I've thought about the pros and the cons, and I have thought about all the good times, and I do think about the potential, but I focus on the facts and the reality of the situation. Distance for me equals safety, and solitude and safety are consistent. So again, when I take that space, the minute I know that I'm taking that space, or I told you that I'm taking that space and I know that you understand, there's relief in that. Just like, okay, I'm going to have a break. I don't have anybody to answer to. When there's no pressure, there's no more stress, right? To communicate, to have to, follow up with someone. So that distance feels very safe. That quietness feels very safe. And like I already mentioned, I feel relieved, relaxed. It's a weight lifted off my shoulders when I have that break. I see leaving as logical and for self-preservation. It's the logical thing to do. Things may not be working. I could see issues up ahead. We could be having issues, or something could have taken place that was major, that might have been minor to you, but major to me. And I'm like, I really have to evaluate this, because I have these feelings, but I don't know if I have the capacity, skill set to take this further, or how much further can I realistically take this right now with this person. And to go into the difference between love and capacity is, love does not equal capacity for intimacy. Just because I love you does not mean that I have the capacity to be vulnerable with you. Two totally different things. I can have these deep feelings for you, and I could have shared certain things with you, but there can be things below the surface that I'm unwilling to share. Period. Doesn't matter how I feel about you. I can love you and lack the bandwidth, the patience to deal with the relationship or with your specific needs. And that's not to say that your needs are too much, but they're just not for me. It's not that person is flawed or broken or whatever, but it's just not for me. It's just not for me. And I understand that. I compartmentalize, and I still need to do a video on that. I compartmentalize care, solitude, those. I can care for you over here, and I feel like if I've done certain things, I've done my job. But then I've done my job, and now I've earned my solitude. So that's kind of the push-pull for me internally. And then I equate being with you with responsibility, which I may not have the capacity for, which is a big reason on why I don't like to put a title on things, because once I say that I'm with you, I'm responsible for certain things. And I might not mentally be in a place where I want to be, or even emotionally in a place where I want to be responsible. I don't always, and I like to equate it to money. I may have $1,000 in my pocket. Okay. But I'm only willing to risk 300. You're asking me to give you 900. I'm telling you, all I'm giving you is 3. And there's no in the middle for me. So that's definitely been a problem, but that's the thing. I don't want the responsibility. I don't want the risk of putting almost all of my eggs, right? Because my self-worth doesn't come from another person, but putting all of my eggs emotionally with one person, or all of my vulnerability with one person, is just seems too high risk. So love is an emotion, capacity is a skill set, and I can just lack the skill set, and that could be the reason why I love you and choose to walk away. So to go back over everything that I spoke about in this video on why I can love you and still leave you as a dismissive avoidant, love does not override fear. My fear of being trapped activates no matter how genuine my affection for you, and loving you and being able to stay with you are two very separate things. Engulfment can override affection. Love feels good. The relationship feels good until it feels like an obligation. And my need for autonomy outweighs my need for closeness. My need to be in control of myself, to be able to move the way that I need to move and feel comfortable, is more important to me than being close to you. Leaving feels like survival. I see leaving as logical and self-preservation, and distance equals safety, and I feel relieved once I take that space. And the difference between love and capacity simply is love is an emotion and capacity is a skill set. Let's continue the conversation down below. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know where you are watching from. Book your one-on-one. All of my information is down below in the description box. And family, I'll be tapping in with you very soon. Keep it real.